Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews. Hang on, I'm going to go get them. Let me see. Wait a minute. Am I going to rumble around? I could turn this around, like that, but just give me a second here. Let's see what we have. Oh, look at all these boxes. Okay, yeah, I've opened a lot of. Oh, wow, box sets too. All right. Well, all right. We'll get there. Okay, here we are. What have we got here? Oh, I got the bees. These are bees. I think there's a bunch of bees around here. Yeah. I mean, like the letter B, not the animal. Brahms, the complete chamber music, formerly on Philips. Remember this? This is beautiful. This is a beautiful set. Oh, my goodness. You've got the complete chamber music with the Beaux-Arts Trio, Arthur Grumio, Janos Starker, Georgi Sibok, Francis Orville, George Peterson, Hepzibah Menuhin, let's see, Walter Trampler, members of the Berlin Philharmonic Octet, Werner Hasse, the Quartetto Italiano. What's not to love, huh? Brahms piano, actually, this is 11 CDs. Brahms chamber music. Is that what I said it was? Did I say piano music? It's chamber music, right? There it is. The complete chamber music. Really, really a fine set. Gorgeous performances. This was so handy, these little boxes. Now the boxes are these Gesundta boxes. But originally, when you're learning, because Brahms chamber music is all of uniformly high quality. I don't like it all uniformly. I still think the string quartets are a bit of a snooze. And the cello sonata things always sound to me like they're written for two different instruments that are only casually associated with one another. But boy, there's some great stuff in here, right? The piano quintet, the string sextets, the string quintets, basically anything with a piano, the piano trios, the violin sonatas. It's all gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. And this was a wonderful way to get to know it. This was sort of my learning box because I was not a big Brahms fan for a very, very long time. It was only when I met the Brahms scholar Styra Avens, who is just the most wonderful person in the world, in addition to being a fabulous scholar, and she really got me going on it. And she's a cellist, and I had the wonderful opportunity to go hear this stuff, or some of it, live. In a small room with a bunch of music-loving people just playing chamber music. And if you have an opportunity to do that, do it. You have no idea how fabulous chamber music is when it's played in a chamber, in a small room. You see these things in these big concert halls, even the small chamber music halls, like in New York, Weill Recital Hall or Alice Tully. They're like 10 times too big for chamber music. If you want to hear what a string quartet sounds like, you got to sit next to the string quartet. I mean, I had the great privilege to be the page turner of choice for a lot of these works with piano. I mean, we did the quintet a couple of years ago. What a fabulous opportunity it is to be in the middle of the music and hear what the players hear. And, find somebody who does this stuff. I'm serious. And invite yourself to dinner. Listen to it up close. First of all, you won't believe how colorful and loud and soft. And, it has none of the deficits that you think chamber music has as opposed to orchestral music. Because when you're in a small room with it's thrilling. The impact is just visceral. It hits you in your viscera. So, I mean, I know I don't have time to talk about these individual performances, which are mostly terrific. But the point is, I just want to make the plug for chamber music, for going to hear it the way the players experience it. And you'll understand so much about how the mythos of chamber music really evolved, because it is an extraordinary experience. And, what music making back in the day in people's homes must have been. It must have been amazing. Or sounded horrible, but people had fun, and it is fun. And you get to have snacks. You can eat. You can go to the bathroom. It's informal, but the music is stunning. That combination of amazing music with a completely relaxed and joyous atmosphere of creation. Wow. Something to experience. It should be on your bucket list. It really should. So there you go. There's that. Next, let's see. What else have we got here? Oh, yeah. This is interesting. Adolphe Biarent. When was the last time you hung out with him? Adolphe Biarent lived from 1871 to 1916. He was one of these Belgian composers from the end of the fin de siècle, turn of the 20th century. He was a wonderful in the French-Belgian school of well, that French-Belgian school, the Franck and Dandy and those people's exotic things. And this particular wonderful disc features the Orchestre Philharmonic de Liège under Pierre Bartholomée. And oh wow, look at this. You've got this Poème héroïque for grand orchestra, which is heroic and grand. And then you've got the Rhapsody Wallonne for piano and orchestra, which is a big 3-movement concerto. I mean, it's concerto length. It's 26, 27 minutes. And it's quite wonderful, from 1910. And finally, Tales of the Orient. Contes d'Orient. Oh, yeah. I mean, French composers doing faux Asian cultural appropriation. Is there anything better than that? And this is a really good example. It's got, let's see, that's like 11 little tiny movements that adds up to actually a fairly large work. And it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. This is on the Cyprès, was that Cyprès label? Yeah, Cyprès. And unfortunately, Cyprès I don't think exists anymore. Cypress, that's how you spell it, And, you may be able to find it. But Biarent's a guy. Someone worth listening to. He really is. I love these discs when they came out, and I do return to them actually once in a while and enjoy them just as much. And last but not least, in this particular clump, Biber, the Rosary Sonatas with Andrew Manze, back in the days when he still cared about violin playing, and he was wonderful. I mean, he really was. With Richard Egarr, organ and harpsichord, that glorious keyboardist who I have to confess sometimes contributes to the comments here, which is really incredibly nice of him because he's a very busy guy. He's teaching at Juilliard and doing other stuff like that. But he's one of the big early music people. And here they are together doing a stupendous disc of the Biber Rosary Sonatas, which are, Biber's most popular works. What are they? All I can tell you is what they are, and then you have to go listen to them. It's a series of sonatas for violin and continuo, each one of which is based on, one of the mysteries of the Rosary. Each Rosary thing has a prayer, and the prayers have, they're divided into the joyful mysteries, the sorrowful mysteries, the glorious mysteries, and then it ends with a Passacaglia for unaccompanied violin, which is 10 minutes long and is like the largest and most fabulous solo violin piece before the famous Bach Chaconne from his Partita for solo violin. And then there's a little discussion here because this series uses scordatura. What is scordatura? Well, as you may know, the violin is tuned in fifths, beginning on the G string, and it goes, G, D, A, E, right? Yeah, something like that. And for each string as you go up. But when you do scordatura, you change the tuning of the various strings so that you can achieve different tonal qualities and make possible the playing of chords and double stops, which is when you hit strings, more than one string at once and whatnot. It allows you to do certain things with certain scales and makes them easier to play and changes the timbre very slightly, let's face it, of the instrument. And so Biber does that as he's going through a lot of these sonatas. He changes the tuning of the actual strings, which makes the whole thing a rather fascinating example of violin technique, as well as musically extremely rewarding and more varied than you might expect from just a big pile of 15 Baroque violin sonatas, which, let's face it, you're not going to listen to them all at once. I mean, he grouped them in groups of 5 for a reason. Take them a little bit at a time, and you'll be very, very happy. So it's really wonderful. It's absolutely a wonderful set. It's on Harmonia Mundi, and if you can still find it, yeah. I mean, this is my recording of choice, basically, and I haven't covered these yet in like a repertoire talk or anything because, I mean, there's just so many of them now, and most of them are really quite good. It's another one of those things where, how do you say, well, this is good, that's good, this is good, that's good, buy one of these, get some of those, But this is my favorite, I think. And it could be a Dave's fave. It really could be. So there you go. The Biber Mystery or Rosary Sonatas. They're called both at one point or another. So there you go. 3 more random reviews. In this case, all from the letter B. Of course, the letter B is like, well, I'm putting letter B next to letter S. There's like the Kondrashin Shostakovich box and the Bis Sibelius cycle and Biber. Oh, I've got my work cut out for me. But keep on listening, friends, because that's what we do. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.